Hello, my name is Alix. I'm a solutions engineer here at Unito. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a flow between Smartsheet and Azure DevOps to illustrate a use case of Agile end-to-end product development. Unito will allow users to accelerate product delivery with Agile workflows that connect their product and development teams. Unito's automated integration simplify collaboration between teams, and this allows users to gain live visibility from any source, collaborate across different tools, and assign issues and tickets to anyone automatically. So let's hop in. In the case of Smartsheet and Azure DevOps, the product team works out of Smartsheet to plan what needs to be built for their product. They are looking to seamlessly send rows that they create as epics and stories to their development team in Azure DevOps. This lets the development team know what needs to be worked on, without the product team needing to go in and manually copy rows, or even needing an account in Azure DevOps. In this video, I will start by showing you an item syncing between our chosen tools while illustrating the use case. Then I will walk you through how I set up the flow to achieve this. Let's say I'm in the product team and I would like to send epics and nested rows over to my developer team in ADO. I've created an epic here and filled out some details. I'll also add a comment and attachment. I've also created a sub-row underneath to nest under my epic in ADO. Now, to trigger my sync, I will check this box. In my rules, I have set it so that when the field ADO sync is checked, it will trigger the row to sync over to Azure DevOps. But you can imagine any number of other ways to do this. For example, using a drop-down to determine which team projects to send the row to. Now, popping over to our Azure DevOps, we can see that both of our items have been created. Entering our newly created epic, we can see the fields I added on the Smartsheet side have been populated on the Azure side, including that the child story has been nested under our epic. Our developer team can then communicate back with our product team and let them know they're working on it. Hopping back over to our Smartsheet, we can see that a comment has been added and our edits have come through. You can see here how Unito enabled rapid collaboration between the product and developer teams and allowed them to communicate seamlessly as if they were both using the same tool. But in this case, Unito is automatically keeping items in sync between the two tools, saving time and avoiding mistakes. Now let's hop into how I've set up the flow. Each Unito flow, no matter the tool, is going to be set up the same way. We will be going through the 4 easy steps to set up a flow. What you're looking at right now is the guide page. On this page, when you've created your flow, you'll have access to each of the steps that can be edited at any point after the flow is created. None of this is set in stone. You have a full range of flexibility in terms of how you want this to be set up. Let's start with the first step, the tool selection page. Here you're going to be selecting the tools that you're connecting, the account with which you're using to connect to those tools, and the projects you'd like to sync together. So, starting up here, we're syncing work in Smartsheet and in Azure DevOps with the accounts Unito Demo and Unito Manual. Typically, we recommend connecting a service account so that the flow is not associated to an individual user in case that user should leave. Then you'll be selecting the project or the sheet that you're looking to connect between. So I've connected my cloud deployment sheet and the project cloud deployment. Next, we'll be going to the flow direction page. On the flow direction page, you're denoting the direction in which items are created within your flow. Note that this is independent of the direction of updates. So you would be able to have updates going both directions, even if your flow isn't set to create bidirectionally. In this example, I have a bidirectional flow between my PM team and my dev team. So this means that items can be created on either side and sync back so long as they meet the flow rules. I have the option to switch this to a unidirectional flow. So here, only my product team can send things to my developer team, and items that are created in Azure DevOps won't have the opportunity to sync back. Leveraging this setup, I could exercise greater control over what my teams are sending to one another, but still have the changes to items that I'm syncing update from either side, and enable collaboration between teams. The direction of field updates is set in step 4. Let's go to the third step. Here we've landed on our rules page. On this page, you're going to be determining the rules or triggers that the items have to meet in order to sync over to the destination tool. So in this example, I have two sections here, going from Smartsheet to Azure DevOps, and then going from Azure DevOps to Smartsheet. On the Smartsheet side, we will start syncing rows from our sheet if the ADO sync field is true. So as you noticed before, I have this checkbox that indicates that the flow will start syncing the item. Once the checkbox is checked, it will create a matching issue in the project in Azure DevOps. We're also setting some default values here. This allows you to handle cases where a field is required in one tool but is optional in another. On the Azure side, we will start syncing work items from the project when the tag is product. If my developer team ever needs to send anything back to our product team, all they need to do is tag their work item with the product tag. Unito allows you to use any field as a rule, be it native or custom. As long as these rules remain true, Unito will continue to sync any updates you make to your work items. Finally, we can head to the last step of the flow process, which is choosing which fields you would like to sync between your items. You can pick any fields that you like on each of your items. You don't need to map all of them. To add a mapping, all you need to do is click the Add Mapping button and select the fields that you would like to sync between. You can also pick the direction in which you'd like each field to sync. You have control over the direction of each individual field. Say you wanted only the effort from the developer side to sync back to product, so they would have visibility on the updates on the task, but the product side cannot impact the effort estimate of the dev team. Then all you would need to do is change the direction with a single click. Mapping the subtasks field allows for the hierarchy to translate between the tools, like was illustrated with our Epic and Story example. Fields that have multiple options appear with a little cog on the left-hand side. Clicking this cog allows you to map individual values for each of the available options. Unito supports all field types, both native and custom, on our mappings page, so you'll have full flexibility on how and what you'd like your teams to see between one another. Those are the 4 easy steps in order to create your flow with Unito. Once you launch your flow, you'll have access to this activity stream, where you'll see each of the updates and creations that the flow has made. Today I've demonstrated how easy it is in just a few minutes to set up a Unito flow. It required no coding, no technical expertise, and still has very deep configuration options and flexibility in order to meet the need of both teams in either tool. This flow will significantly cut down the time my team is spending copy-pasting tasks between the tools and expedite communication between them without the teams needing seats in both tools. If you're curious to learn more or have any questions, please feel free to reach out and we'll be happy to help you out. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.